Hey. Hi, guys. Okay, perfect. Well, today I thought we could focus specifically on the psoas muscles and a little bit of the rectus femoris. I think that would be fun. Doesn't that sound fun? That's right.
What's rectus femoris?
Rectus femoris is the muscle that goes across it actually crosses the psoas muscle. Oops, let me let. Oh, that's in here. Perfect. Oops, hold on. There we go. So as you know, we'll go through where the psoas is and why it's important. We've talked about it a little bit, but also we'll talk about the rectus femoris today, which we don't really ever think about. But even though we do in this class a lot of stuff that does stretch it, we just don't ever really talk about it. So, hey, Babette, how's it going? So as you know, the psoas muscles, you guys can just start sitting on the toes here. So I can show you a couple of things while you're getting into the toe and feet mobility here. So the psoas muscles, you know why I talk about the breath all the time is because the psoas muscles are connected to the upper lumbar, lower thoracic area of the spine. And they come through your guts. They don't go around anything. They actually come through your body parts and they attach to that upper inner part of the femur known as the lesser trochanter. The rectus femoris starts from the outside of the hip and actually crosses over the psoas and kind of goes over the kneecap. So a lot of the stuff we do, a lot of, you could take your leg back like this in extension here, and you're really only getting into the psoas muscle. But when we bend the knee, that's when you're going to get into that rectus femoris. So we do a lot of that stuff anyway, but today we're going to focus on some stuff specifically for it. Okay. Go ahead and sit on the tops of the feet and lift the knees, maybe. Good. So continuing that conversation of where the psoas muscles are connected at the spine, the job of the psoas muscle is to pick your femur up. That's its only job, literally. And what happens when our psoas muscles are really tight is then the quads kick in, and the quads are what are picking your femurs up, like if you're walking or running or going upstairs. And the only result of all of that is you end up with tight hamstrings, because then the quads aren't doing what they're designed to do. What are they designed to do? They're designed to propel you forward, not pick the femur up, right? So it's that back leg where you're pushing. Let's say if you're walking or running, that quad is meant to push you forward. It only flex on extension, straightening the legs all the way. You know all these things. Go ahead and sit on the toes again for a minute. And so right at where the psoas are attached in that lower thoracic area, that's where your diaphragm is attached as well. So your diaphragm and your psoas muscles are like what I think of as the titans of the muscular system. Your diaphragm's kind of like this, and your psoas muscles are kind of like this, and it's really this beautiful relationship that they have. If your psoas muscles are tight, then your diaphragm can't really function optimally. So your diaphragm starts right at the same vertebra that the psoas muscles do. And then the diaphragm goes up and is attached into the front part of the rib cage. So when I'm talking about breathing, this is why. Breathing, soften the belly, squeeze your quads. I'm like a one-trick pony. I'm like a broken record. Just different words. That's all. But they all mean the same thing. Stay there for 2 more breaths. And then one more time on the tops of the feet. Good job, and lift the knees. I love it. Always breathe into the low part of the ribs so that you'll feel that diaphragm push down into the belly. Some people, I don't know if you've taken yoga classes where they say belly breathing. That's not what they mean. Belly breathing is pushing the belly out. You want to push your diaphragm down. If you guys ever want to do a specialty breathing class, let me know. Really? Okay. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, go ahead and come on to the hands and knees here and just sink the hips into child's pose for a few breaths. You got it. Good to focus on the psoas muscles anyway, just simply because that's where your splits are going to come from. Your splits will never, ever be about your hamstrings. You just won't. You can walk the hands on over to that right side, lean the left hip away. And breathe into both sides of the rib cage evenly here. And come on back to center and on over to the other side. Yeah, come on back to center. You can go ahead and slide forward into that cat stretch here. Your perfect tuck handstand shape. You've got it. Nice. The other great thing about straightening your legs all the way and really strengthening the quads. I know some of you guys had some good quad Charlie horses in Vegas. Really straightening the legs. And the other reason you really want to teach the legs how to straighten and really how to squeeze the quads all the way, how to really truly engage them, is then that allows your glutes to do their job. If you're not if you're really not training the quads to do what they're designed to do, and then you end up with tight hamstrings, then the glutes really can't work. So this is all just that lower chain that we all want working in unison. About 2 more breaths here. Good. Sink the hips back to child's pose. And then go ahead and grab a block, yoga block, or whatever you have. I'm just moving the light really quick. There we go. So much better. Good. Go ahead and grab your block, and we're going to lay on the block just for like 3 to 5 minutes. You want it to go in between the hips and the ribs, not under the ribs, not touching the bone. It's going to be hard to breathe. Not under the hip bones, because then it's not going to do anything. We have done this before, so you want it right in line with the belly button, and then you can just lie down on this. Try not to resist it. Just let it sink in. This is great because it gets right into the fascia, protecting the diaphragm and the psoas muscles anyway. So this is that really direct sustained pressure on fascia that is incredibly effective. Mm-hmm. And breathe. You might be able to feel your heartbeat. Just try to remain still. Could be uncomfortable. Consciously soften. I mean, lots of reasons why you wouldn't want to shove a block in your guts, you guys. So I trust you to make good decisions. But just soften. Mm-hmm. I'll stay for about 1 more minute. Good. Last deep breath here. And then go ahead and move the block out from under you and just take a couple of breaths on the belly. And then go ahead and roll onto your back. You can grab your block here. If you have like a roller, one of those big rollers or something, also those work just fine for this. But I'm going to put my block on its mid-height side, not under my sacrum like this, more down near to the sit bones. And then go ahead and straighten the legs. If you feel compression in the low back, you can take your feet a little bit wider. So this just gives that pelvic tilt, that forward tilt of the pelvis, and that gets right into that front part, the upper part of the iliopsoas group that you probably think of as your hip flexors. That's also your psoas muscles. So this should feel pretty good. Same breath here. Take about 2 more breaths. If your feet are wide, just inch them back together here. You should be able to feel that the longer we stay here, probably more down the front, right where the quads, where the legs are kind of attached to the pelvis, I would think. That's kind of where I feel it right now. And we're just going to start to slide that left foot up and bring the knee to the chest. And release the foot and get the foot back on the floor and slide it away from you. And then slide to the other one. You're really just letting the psoas muscles do all the work here by sliding. Bring the foot down and slide the foot away from you. And just keep alternating. Just give the thigh a nice squeeze at your belly when you bring it up there. And then release and switch sides. Notice how different your sides are. I can get my left knee all the way to my chest and my right knee, no. Why? Nice slow movement, just sliding the feet away. Do one more each side. Nice. And then go ahead and bend the knees, plant the feet, and scoot the block out from under you. Just take a couple of breaths here. Bring the knees in toward each other. That internal rotation should feel pretty good right about now. Little windshield wipery movements is feeling good. Also, just to let all of that go. Perfect. Okay, you can hug the knees to the chest and then rock up and down the spine a few times. Good, and then roll on up and make your way to down dog. How'd that last thing feel on the block? Good? All right, go ahead and bring the right foot forward. I'm just gonna come into a square lunge. So bring the right foot forward and you're in this square lunge, not sinking the hips forward. We'll get there. And we'll just take a lean away from that front leg. So I'm moving over to my left side. I do put my hand on my hip. It does give me a little bit more stability. I can kind of like shove a little bit. Keep that top arm straight and then just start to rotate the rib cage toward that right side a little bit. It's very moderate, nothing to feel here. Bring the torso back up to center, step into down dog, and we'll do that on the other side. Good, bring that left foot forward. And start to lean away from the front leg, you got it. And start to turn the rib cage toward the front leg. Good. Keep all of that length while you're doing this. Back to center. You got it. And we'll step into down dog. Good. Bring the right foot forward. And this time sink the hips. So that back leg is nice and straight. Now you can definitely feel this in the front of your upper thigh and hip. Here, hi. Hi guys, you don't need to, that's a quick hello. A quick hello. A quick hello. Okay, out. Come on. Good doggies, thank you. Nope, out. Good girl. Nope, you stay out. Good girl. Thank you. Sink the hips a little deeper. One more breath. No. Then we'll go ahead and switch sides. You can just step into down dog. And bring the left foot forward. So tight. Is it just me? Just one. Shit. Super tight. Yep. So tight, I'm not even gonna bother doing it with you. Two more breaths here. Nice work. Go ahead and step back to down dog. And then bring the right foot forward. Do that same thing. So sink the hips a little bit deeper. Now this time you're gonna just start to roll toward that front leg. Just bring in the torso toward the front leg. We do this all the time. Should increase that stretch you're feeling. Good. And then you can kind of lift up to a square lunge here if you like. Bend the knee, grab the foot, and then start to sink back into this. Now, this is completely different. This is when you're getting into yeah, do it with the same side arm, maybe. Oh, no, you're totally right. That's fine. Sorry. This is when you're getting into that rectus femoris here. Should feel different, right? You're feeling it more down the front of the thigh, all the way down to the knee. Good. And then go ahead and release the foot. Sink the hips forward and bring the torso up and see if that feels any better. Does that give you any relief in this shape? I should, right? Yeah. Yeah. Good. We'll step into down dog. Use your belly, push through the front foot. Good. We'll do that on the other side. Bring the left foot forward. You got it. Sink a little bit. Twist a little bit toward the front leg. You can lift up to that square lunge, bend the knee, and then grab that foot and then sink right back into it. About 2 more breaths here. Bring the torso up, release the foot, and then sink forward back into that nice deep lunge here. Oh, I love it. So good. Your perfect half stag position. Perfect. Go ahead and plant the hands, step back to down dog. Good job, you guys. Belinda, it is half past in 35 minutes into class here, so if you need to go. All right, you guys, go ahead and come onto your knees, and you can turn sideways, turn toward me here. Bye. Okay, and so I'm going to start with my right leg out to the side. Good. And slide the hand down the leg. Reach up. Now this, what's happening here is we care all about what's happening here on the outer part of the thigh and through the ribs and up through the shoulders. So just reach. Get your reach toward the wall next to you. When you reach your limit of reaching, then I want you to, that inside edge, your right edge, I want you to push that in toward the spine. So you're actively pushing. And then you're going to rotate the rib cage just slightly up toward the ceiling. Good. Keep that full extension when you're rotating the rib cage. Should be almost hard to breathe. Am I right? Okay. Yes, perfect. Should be hard to breathe. This is a super deep psoas lengthening position to get into. Also hard to breathe if you're staying with that full range of motion here. Good. Keep rotating the rib cage up. You should be able to feel that in that mid place right above your, yeah, exactly. And then bring your torso back to its last position and then bring the torso up. You don't ever want to come out of this position with the rib cage up toward the ceiling. Always level out the torso first. Go ahead and come onto your knees, and we'll do that on the other side. So nice. Okay. We'll take that left leg out to the side. Good. Start to reach up overhead already. And then you're just sliding. Hold on. Sliding the hand down the leg. I can't talk while I do this. Reach through that top arm. Once you get that limit, once you hit that limit, you're pushing the left side of your waist in toward the spine. Notice when you do that, how everything engages. That leg that's extended wants to engage without trying. And then that slight rotation. Good. Keep pushing the waist in, and you're actively rotating the ribcage up just slightly. So you can bring your gaze up under the bicep. You want to look all the way up toward the ceiling. Keep that top arm active and reaching. So stretching is an active situation. You want to keep muscles engaged. You can't stretch relaxed muscles. You want to stretch engaged muscles. Two more breaths. Keep the leg active. Keep pushing that waist in toward the spine. Keep reaching through that top hand. Bring the ribcage back to its earlier position, straight ahead, and then bring the torso up. Good job. And then you can take a couple of breaths in child's pose. That's super intense. Maybe. It is for me. So a few breaths in child's pose. Yeah. Nice work, you guys. Go ahead and come back on to the knees here. And we'll take the right leg out to the side like we just did. Yep. And you can stay on the top of that back foot or tuck the toes. We're going to come into like a half camel. So I'm going to reach back for that heel. And reach all the way toward the wall behind you. Yep. Reach back for that left heel. You got it, Babette? With your left hand. Let me do it again for you. So this is my left knee. This is my right leg. I'm going to reach back with the same side hand.
And can I just do sort of a little bit back, because my lower back is still a bit sore from 2 weeks ago, so it's still a bit iffy.
Oh gosh, yes. Just do what we were doing earlier. That's fine. Just do the side bend. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no worries. I get it. How's that feel? Feels great. Inhale, bring the torso up. Good. Keep that leg that's extended super active, okay? And then we'll just switch sides. Go ahead and take the other leg out to the side. Good. Keep that leg that's extended active. Reach back with your right hand. And then take that top arm up toward the wall behind you. Yeah. Super awkward and uncomfortable. All gonna get us somewhere. 2 more breaths. Inhale, bring the torso up. And exhale, just go ahead and sit on the heels. Good. You can take a breath or two in child's pose if you like. And then we're just gonna meet up on the belly. So there's no rush. Give yourself a minute. Nice work. And then go ahead and just make your way on to the belly. You got it. I guess we could just consider this a back bend class, but not really. You're gonna call it Rectus Femoris class, so you don't get into your head about how much we hate back bends. All right, go ahead and lift the torso up, the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bend the knees, kick the feet away from you. Good. So your only thought here is, how do I get my thighs further away from the floor? If you're just bending the knees, it's just stretching that thigh muscle we've been talking about. If you lift the knees a little higher and kick, reach up toward the ceiling, that's going to get into that psoas area. Probably 90% of low back pain comes from tight psoas muscles. Did you already know that? Oh, okay. Go ahead and release. Oh, you didn't know that. Okay. I thought you knew that already. Good. Go ahead and release. We'll take a couple of breaths on the belly here. So if the psoas muscles are attached at that lower thoracic up and lumbar spine, they're connected to 5 vertebrae actually. And so when the psoas muscles are tight, that's probably where you feel any low back pain is right in this area. Am I right? From those psoas muscles being really, really either overworked or under thanked. Yes, under thanked, underappreciated. Let's go ahead and do this one more time. Bend the knees. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. So just go through this like a system. There's no desired outcome here. Just end up with the feet in your hands and then kick not only back, but kick up, reach up toward the ceiling. Yeah, nice, Babette. That looks great. That looks great. I love it. Yep. Squeeze your buns. They want to be included. Yep. Kick the feet away. You're engaging the quads this way with that resistance. And breathe. Breathe into the low belly. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. And stay focused on what you're doing. Kick the feet away, lift the thighs more, squeeze your butt more, squeeze the shoulder blades more. 1 more deep breath. And then go ahead and release. Good. Turn the head to maybe one side or just stay here and we'll take a couple of breaths. Let all of that. Okay, so now we're going to get straight up into the quads and specifically right into that rectus femoris here. So we'll take a break from the 4 little psoas muscles. We're going to stay on the belly. Come have your arm out in front or along and perpendicular here or straight ahead, up to you. But I want that front arm to be able to pull you forward. So maybe out here, you want to pull up out of the pelvis, reach back for the right foot, and then start to swivel the fingers in the same direction as the toes and just start to push that foot down. Yeah. So my foot's a little bit on the outside of my hip here. Straight back is also effective, depending on the range of motion that you have. But you really want to get right into that shoulder and then keep the leg that's extended active, push into the floor through the top of the foot. Keep pulling through the front arm. So you want to pull out of the pelvis while you're doing this. Notice when you pull out of the pelvis that you can bring that foot down further. Am I right? Yes. Okay, good. And breathe. Nice. Go ahead and release that foot. We'll do that on the other side. So whatever arm, whatever position that allows you to pull out of the pelvis effectively, reach back for the foot, swivel the fingers in the same direction the toes are coming, so it's straight ahead, and then pull out of the pelvis. Keep the leg behind you nice and active, and then reach. And breathe. Keep pulling the torso out of the pelvis. Easy to daydream even here. I could feel that. 2 more breaths. Pull, push, breathe. And go ahead and release. How's that feeling on your knees, Diane? Is that okay? Yep. It's so. Yeah, good. Well, we're gonna move on. All right, you guys, nice work. Go ahead and make your way to child's pose. Should feel pretty good. Okay. Let's go ahead and walk the torso up. Swing the legs around to the front. And go ahead and lie on the back. Keep the feet hip width apart here. Now we'll come into like a supported bridge pose. You can grab your block. So instead of that thing we did at the beginning of class with the block a little bit lower so it tilts the pelvis forward, I'm gonna have you put the block just under the sacrum here, so it's just completely supported. You can put your block on its highest side if you want, if that feels like a better position. You want it completely supported, so your hips are doing absolutely nothing here. So now you're in this is almost like the passive hang we do in shoulders. This is like a really passive position for the psoas muscles, but they're completely extended. So that's good for them. Take a few breaths here. And you can keep the knees bent. If you want to straighten them, that's fine with me. But if you keep them bent, then it's just completely passive. So just experiment with that. Should feel pretty relaxing. After everything we've done, should feel like you're doing nothing, actually. That's how you want it to feel. We'll only stay here for a few more breaths so that your low back doesn't start falling asleep with this pressure on it. You can bring the block onto its lower side if it's on its highest side right now. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Nice work. And you can go ahead and move your block out from under you. Just keep the knees bent and you can drop the knees in toward each other. That always feels good after these kind of positions, that little bit of internal spin on the legs. All right, guys, so we're just here to play around with this. We've done this before, no surprises, but we're going to come into that tiptoe version of all the stuff we've been doing. So you can start with your feet close to you, lift up onto the toes, and then you're going to push. You want your buns resting on your heels. My toes are tucked under me and come onto the top of the head. So this is like super rectus femoris and psoas stretch here all along the front, super deep. Just experimenting with a challenge. You want to shove your heels under your buns, so you want your feet close enough together so that your buns are resting on them, and maybe all the way forward onto the knees. Push through the elbows, come onto the top of the head. Maybe get the knees all the way onto the floor, maybe not. Super deep. Yeah. This all requires that lengthening to happen, that length from mid quad up to your waist. That's where you're going to feel that limited range of motion here, that ability to tilt the pelvis forward. Yeah. That looks great. Good. Super uncomfortable. You can go ahead and come on out of that. Super uncomfortable. Bring the knees to the chest. But really important too, because everything is related to your suppleness in your feet. So that's why we started with the toe and ankle stretch, because that fascia that starts down here is what travels all the way up and really decides what your range of motion is going to be. All right, we're going to finish with a really nice psoas stretch here. So you can bend the knees, bring one ankle onto the other thigh like a figure 4 position, and drop the knees on over to that right side. So the weight of that foot is going to get a nice deep hip stretch of that left thigh here. The further away your knees are, you're going to feel that more in the front of that psoas. So you can experiment with kind of sliding the knees away from you. That looks great, Nikki. And breathe. And then you can go ahead and switch sides. Bring the knees back to center. Good. Cross that ankle on over to the other leg. Nice. Should feel pretty good. Breathe way down into the low part of the ribs. Really let that diaphragm function optimally. We've done all of this stuff to soften and nurture our psoas muscles. So now the diaphragm can move more freely. So just let that happen. A couple more breaths here. Bring the knees back to center. Give the knees a little squeeze here. Rock up and down the spine a few times. Good. And I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a great day. Thank you.